All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Hoodie, Just Dre chillin', and I'm here with the incomparable Gary Lamb. Shout out to all those that are joining us tonight on the live. Much love. Listen, I like the song so much I had to run this thing back. We got a couple topics to talk tonight. Much love to everybody that is with us in the live tonight. Salute. If you can hear Hoodie loud and clear, let me get a 100. Gary, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, pimpin'. I can hear you.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
This damn song, it really spoke. It really did.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It really did. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you get us started tonight. I've been running my mouth for the past 3 shows.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Gary Lamb coming on tonight. We're going to be discussing Andrew Tate and his relationship with his father. Now, we was talking about this on the last live on Wednesday. We was talking about how Romeo is having issues with his dad, and what's his face? 50 Cent is having problems with his son as well. And we're sitting here like, well, shoot, what's the difference between Andrew Tate, considering the fact that his father was pretty much, a chess master and, gambler and all this other stuff. What's so different from how Andrew Tate turned out and how Romeo and 50 Cent's child world ran out, just fell out? So we're thinking, is it possible that dads do it better? And if that is in fact the case, how can we make it work to accommodate both parties, right? Because we don't want to alienate women at all. We don't. They are a vital part of the equation. When it comes down to raising a stabilized adult, seems like men do a lot better. Now, some people will argue that Andrew Tate is just a big kid, but what are most men? I know I'm a big kid. I'm talking for me. I'm a big ass kid. So what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? But what do you think about that, Hood?
Listen, I just want to say, for a lot of people, they may not understand what our mission at this channel is, and for what we're really doing together on this relationship side. But I think that we want to see we want to see Americans as a whole just come together as families. And I think that what we are seeing is that we're having a breakdown in the family structure. Definitely gives us weak men, and weak men are not attractive to women, and therefore women seem to be put in a situation where they are raising children by themselves and producing more and more weak men, unfortunately.
Right.
But one of the biggest things that we did point out last time on the live was that, here it is, Romeo is in a situation where he had his father, and listen, his dad was there. If you look at 50 Cent wasn't necessarily around.
Right.
But Romeo did have his dad. He grew up in the household with his dad, so he didn't have, to me, as much excuse. But it just goes to show that silver spoon doesn't help you find an identity. And I think that a lot of the biggest things with these young men, especially when we compare somebody like Andrew Tate, who really comes from a different era. He's a lot older than those young men, but he also was able to find his own identity, and whether that came through something like mixed martial arts and fighting and boxing and becoming a champion, or even in business. And I think that ultimately these guys are just looking to obtain that.
Right. They just want to find some type of way to upbeat their father, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't even think to one up their dad. I don't think that they want to do that. I think that it's more or less being, being their own man.
Right.
And I think that their dads cast a huge shadow.
Hmm.
I don't think 50 Cent's son has so much to do with, with Romeo. I think Romeo is indeed looking to be his own man, where 50 Cent's son Marquise was raised by his mother to live off of what 50 was doing for them. And
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't really want more than that. The only thing he'll take more if his dad is going to give it to him.
Right.
In his mind, he think he should have access to what his dad has access to without the work that his dad does. I think with Romeo, Romeo wants the stature, wants the presence of his father, and is
Mm-hmm.
just really trying to figure out how to get there. And in the meantime, he's scratching between what's his, and making that territory. He's with his dad, he's making that territory. That's just kind of how I see Romeo.
Hmm. Hmm.
And,
So you
and
think
listen,
that you think Master P is just a little too harsh on his son?
no, I don't think Master P is too hard on. I think Master P maybe gave him too much, and as he got older, he forgot to teach him how to become more self-independent.
Right.
And money was always going to be something that was taken care of for Romeo, so he didn't have to worry about that. But he
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any other real challenges in life. And this is where I say I look at a guy like Shaq, who has the same kind of money that either one of these guys have, whether it be 50 or Master P. And what you'll see is that Shaq required them to at least get a discipline. So to go as far as a master degree, to at least have some sort of discipline to show me that you can be disciplined and buckle down in your own life.
Yeah.
So how is your goal setting is ultimately what I think that Shaq instills in his children, that 50 tried to instill in Marquise, but the problem was that the mother was already there with a particular mindset. And I think that Master P tried to instill it in Romeo, except he may have shielded him from a little too much instead of letting him have a lot of the consequences that came with his actions.
Mm. Spoil the rod, huh?
Spare the child.
You spoil the. I mean, spare the rod, you spoil the child, and a lot of people do not want to accept that. I mean, we've had this conversation in depth where I don't hit my children because I don't have to. There's no incentive to hit my children, so I don't have to do it. Um, but there are fathers out there that may have to, get mean and rugged with their sons and everything like that. And I've made this conversation. I've had this conversation years ago with my wife. I don't believe that I'm because I'm in the house. I don't see the incentive for her to chastise them physically. I'm there, right? And the reason why I do that is because of how I felt when my mother chastised me when she was hitting me, and how I felt when she was hitting me. It was degrading, right? It's not that I'm being disciplined because I did something wrong. It was degrading, right? She was hitting me because she felt she could. There's a big difference between being disciplined and hitting because you felt you could. And I got that from my mom, right?
Yeah.
My mother, and don't get it twisted. We got past this and everything like that. We talked about it. It's no big deal. I'm just using this as an example of what not to do to a 17-year-old boy. So my mother and I had an argument, and she grabbed me by my neck and she she pushed me against the wall, and she was sitting there holding my neck, and I'm sitting here like, oh, so you're just going to sit here and choke me? I can't do anything, so this is how you're going to win this fight? You're just going to choke me, huh? That's how you're going to win? And I lost a crap ton of respect for my mother because of that, because it was like, I can't do anything, right? If I do anything to you, you're going to call my cousins and they're going to be whooping on my ass until Christmas. So I can't do anything, right? Whereas when my father did it, I knew if I punched him in his mouth, he ain't calling no damn, he's not calling for backup. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, do not punch your father in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way to go. But there was a respect there, right? Because if I did, it would be mano y mano, me and him. Me hitting my mom, oh my God, you hit a woman, and I'm doomed. There's no winning that. So I don't like the idea of mothers putting their hands on the sons because of that reason right there. Now, I know a lot of women might be thinking, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Good question. I don't have an answer for that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't chastise your son or discipline. All I'm saying is if their father is in the house, you might want to pass that on to them. Because I don't have to hit my kids. Like, I give them the look and that's it. Every father has that look. I give them the look. That's it. They straighten up. I don't have to do all the extra stuff. But I do have a problem with the whole discipline and chastising the child in that manner. And is it possible that that's what caused Romeo to be so Romeo-ish? Is it possible that's exactly
Listen,
what's happening with Marquise? We don't know.
listen, Gary. I grew up with a Jamaican mama, and two brothers, in the house with me. So three boys. My mother whooped ass.
Mm.
Okay, it's just what. And listen, she was tougher than my dad, and that's just how it was. The thing is, when I got older, and I used to discipline my kids in that way, and my mother, she told me not to whoop my children, and I said to
What?
her, I know, I said what I said to her, what I said, you whooped me and my brother's ass, and she said to me, there was some things I was wrong on.
Ooh, so whoa.
Listen. I
See,
shock
now
you.
you
From that
now
from
listen,
that day forward, my kids never, none of them, never got ass whooping ever
now
again
now
after that.
now now listen to what you just said. All right, and I'm glad you brought that up because that is something that we don't talk about, that a lot of mothers do things out of wrong intentions. All right, we don't know what those wrong intentions may be, but if you're whooping your child because you're mad at something else, yeah, we got a
Well, listen,
problem.
listen.
That's
I don't that I can say that wasn't my mother.
hmm
I think that my mother, she was raised, like she Jamaican, man, and my grandfather and my grandmother were tough on
hmm
all of my aunts and uncles and my mother, and that's just, they was raised getting their ass whooped.
yeah,
So I was raised getting my ass whooped. When you got out of line, you got your ass beat. What changed though is when we got older. My mother, she a little light skinned Jamaican lady, so she may be 5'4", and me and my brothers, we all 6 foot or better. So there did come a point in high school where I remember she was whooping me, and I was laughing at her,
yeah,
and I was looking at her like, listen,
those days are over.
there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
this
Those
ain't
days are
gonna
over.
this ain't
Yeah.
gonna do it. But I mean, as you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you need money, you need to go someplace. I got you. I'm not gonna be taking you anywhere. We're gonna see how you choose to get your ass around. You know what I mean? So like,
Mm.
it was more or less those situations. You know what I mean? So I can't, that's why I say I can't always say, I do think we have a lot of women in the community though that maybe take out the anger that they may have with the child's father, or the anger that they have in their own life on the children, and that can be definitely a situation that's not healthy for any of the parties involved.
Right. Well, listen, we got a clip that we want to talk about, and I want to see what's going on in that because I think this is going to shed a little light on why Andrew here is such a beast because
Hmm.
you listen to how he talk about his father, and it couldn't have been a beautiful life, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. But when you're a child and that's all you know, it's beautiful, right? Because I've shared this once, that when I went back to Jersey City, I smelled a wino and it was a pleasant fragrance to me because that reminded me of being with my dad. So you'll be like, you thought that would smell good? Like, I'm not saying it smelled good. It just reminded me of my
Right.
dad. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that is. But go ahead and play the clip.
All right.
So my father, I have a saying, which is my most famous saying that I say. I said at the end of the final video, my unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. And for the people watching, it means unmatched perspicacity, your ability to perceive and understand the world, pay attention to things and take in all the different variables, pay attention, because a lot of people don't. Coupled with indefatigability, the ability to never become tired, makes you a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. So if you pay attention to everything and you analyze the chessboard correctly and you never give up, it doesn't matter if you're trying to climb Mount Everest. It doesn't matter if you're trying to escape a social.
I just want to say, for all the money he got, look how crooked them damn sunglasses is.
Yeah.
I don't mean to do that, but I just want to point
I think
that
they
out.
got a lot to do with his ears. You know what I'm saying? I can never get my damn sunglasses straight. They always crooked because my ears are not freaking straight.
They are crooked as fuck.
You're a dangerous guy. He doesn't quit and he pays a bunch of attention. That's a guy you don't want as an enemy. Yeah. And my father said that. I heard my father say that. The story behind it is we were in Detroit. My father was a world level chess player. He was an amazing man, but he was to a degree a flawed man, let's say. He liked to gamble. My father's attitude towards life is something I've also adopted because I've even said it myself. I either want to be filthy rich or flat broke. I feel like slavery's in between. And I said to my brother when we had no money, let's.
Did you hear that? What he said? Did you hear what that man said?
What?
He said, I feel that slavery is somewhere in between. He only gave us 3 options.
Flat broke. He only gave what?
Yes.
Filthy rich, flat broke, or slavery.
Yep.
And listen, if you're filthy rich, you don't work for nobody, and if you're flat broke, you don't work for nobody.
In other words, I'm not working for nobody. And how can you blame him for feeling that way? So many men feel just like that. I don't want to work for anybody. Fathers are the son's first teacher, as mothers are their daughter's first teacher. You must therefore lead by example. Yes, absolutely.
Let's just move to Thailand. Let's just move to Thailand and fight and just live on $50 a day and just run around the beach and have our time back. Like, what are we slaving away a job to pay the rent and then we're broke? I either have to feel like I'm going to make it or just quit capitalism. Yeah. I don't want to be in between. And my father was the same. So he won a chess tournament, a low level one. He made like $3,000 or something. And he said, listen, son, the rent's paid and I either want 100 grand or nothing. It's just who I am. So we went to the casino, lost all the money. Casino's a bad place to go and try and get rich, but that's my dad. Lost all the money. So then we were in Detroit and we were hustling in a park. My dad was a chess park hustler. He'd go into the parks and he'd sit down and say, you all get 10 minutes. I get a minute on the clock. And he'd play 10 games simultaneously while they had 10 minutes each. And he'd have a minute. And he'd sit there and just smoke them all for money, right? And take all the money in. So, and we'll talk about world level chess players because I'll make it clear. I do not have the intellect to be a world level chess player. Even though I have the genetics, it's something you're born with. It's kind of like being a human calculator. It's something in your brain. You can't train. It's like learning to sing. You can learn to sing, but you're not going to be Mariah Carey unless you're born with it, right? The way his mind worked was...
Now, listen, you know what I like about Tate is understanding limitations, man.
Yes.
So he's not a guy that's consumed with himself or feels like he has to be the smartest guy in the room.
No, he doesn't.
He knows that he's not going to be the smartest guy in the room.
And he's okay with that.
Listen, there's a lot to learn just from the stories, man. You people got to pick this up.
Yeah.
A different level of intellect. And I don't possess it. And that's a blessing and a curse because I'm better socially than he was. He was not very sociable as a person. And in these high-level chess tournaments, a lot of them are not very sociable people. And we can talk about that at length, but so he made some money and we went to a gas station in Detroit. And I remember this vividly. I was about 8 or 9 years old. I went to the back, to the coolers. I opened to get a drink and I heard all this noise. And when I turned around, my dad was fighting 3 men. And I don't know how the fight started. I don't know where it came from. He had one of them up against the door and he had him up like this and he was biting his face. And the other 2 are punching my dad in the back of the head. And I'm a kid. And I just stood there like, the fuck? And the Korean guy behind is shouting, stop. And I'm standing there and I didn't know what to do. So I kind of went to walk over. And although my dad was getting punched, and although he was biting this guy, I remember him turning to me and saying, "Stay there," and went back to biting the guy. I don't know the fuck. To this day, I don't know how the fight started. Korean guy came around the back, kind of got in the middle. The guys went out. They threatened to kill him. We're gonna fucking kill you, like gangbangers. We're gonna fucking kill you. My dad had blood all over his face, some from the guy, some from him. His eye was black. His eye socket got fractured. His eye was closed. His bumps all back to head. So we stood there, and the Korean guy started panicking, saying, "My store damaged, my store. Wait, police, wait, police, wait, police." And I think my dad was a bit disoriented. He never went down, but I could tell he was a bit dizzy. So my dad stood there, and he stood like this, like in like military position, stood in the corner of the place, and we waited for the police officer to come. And the police officer came. I'd start doing reports, ask what happened, start talking to reports, etc. And the police officer said to my dad, "So you fought these 3 guys?" He goes, "Okay, well, what's your job?" My dad said, "I'm a chess player." And the police officer said, "Well, maybe you should have been something else."
Right.
And my dad said, "My unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor." I remember him saying that was his answer to the police officer. And the police officer was like,
"Yeah, how do you spell perspicacity?"
He wrote it down.
Yeah.
And that was a saying that my dad started using then on after, and I adopted. So that's the only time I ever saw him fight.
If you enjoyed this video and you want to watch the entire podcast,
Now, you watch your father do that, and you tell me you're not going to be a fucking beast.
I think that it does change your perspective of how you
see what you're going to become. And if he's telling you you're going to be a better man than he is, and you think your dad is a fucking beast, what are you going to become? This is why dads are vital, because dads are going to show this shit to their sons. I'm going to become Superman one day, and that was what's in his head. Instead of being told you just like your daddy, and your daddy is a bum. Not by the standards of what your father showed you, no, by what your mother told you.
So do you think bum niggas shouldn't have kids?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying women should stop calling their freaking sons' fathers bums.
What if he is a bum?
That's for him to find out. That is for him to find out. That is not your call. That is for him to figure that out.
It's for him to figure out that his daddy's a bum.
Listen, you can't escape the fact that the kid is here and you had it with a bum.
Listen, I think that's hard for a lot of women to accept, first of all, man.
Yes, but you're destroying your child's future image of himself.
Yes.
He's got to imprint on something. What do you want to imprint him on? A bum or a superhero?
They say, "I'm going to imprint me." And what do they do, Gary?
How?
What do they do? He
don't have nothing. Listen, he don't have nothing wet to get money out of with. Well, yeah, he do. But I don't think he wants to do that.
But Gary, they say, "I'm going to turn him into the man that I always wanted to be with."
Okay.
So they dress him like the little guy that they always want him to be.
The bow tie and the shoes and
yeah. You know, if he in the hood, he gonna have sneakers. He gonna have the Jordans. He gonna have the latest jeans. Be on the trendiest things. You know why? Because they want the little girls to think that he's oh so cute. Not that he's a young man that's taking care of the house. You know, he's taking out the trash. He's really helping you around the house. That's not what they try and do now. No. But if you look at how they treat the daughters, see the young girls, they treat them hard. Yeah, because they tell them you got to be able to live life without a man.
And you know what? And here's what I think. I think a lot of women think it's easy for men to get through life, and that's why they do that. They think it's going to, because they don't look at the other side of the equation many of the time. They just don't do that. And shout out to the chat in both Rumble and YouTube. I truly appreciate all of you. Merry Christmas to you, LA. Merry Christmas to everybody. But I think the big disconnect is we get stuck in our own realm of frustration, pain, and suffering that we don't realize that the person that's on the other side is suffering just as bad. You know, I mean, I know a lot of women think men just walk away from their daggone children, but you do realize why men like Tommy Sotomayor and Corey Holcomb says, F those kids if you won't let me see them, because that's painful. It's painful. You're utilizing something that I want to love to hurt me. And I'm not going to let you do that. So I will be dead to that child if I need be. And guess what happens with the child? The child gets neglected and it gets abandoned. And it's not the choice of the child to be abandoned. He didn't make that choice. She didn't make that choice. Yet they're the ones affected by it. Their whole life is affected because y'all can't get y'all ish together. What kind of dumb shit is that? That don't make any sense, but yet we do that every single day. Why? Because we are creating the same bullshit we say we don't want. This is how I want you to be. This is how you're supposed to treat a woman. You're supposed to do this with a woman. You're supposed to do that with a woman. And then you wonder why your son keep picking bad women.
Well, listen, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You see exactly what I'm talking about. Shout out to Philly James. Merry Christmas on the Cash App. Much love, Phil. Appreciate it, man. As always, thank you to everybody that's out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but listen, I think that what we need to do is, honestly, we need to stop having children so young.
Tell me about it.
I think a lot of the problem is the age in which we're having children at, man.
Yeah.
I got you, y'all. Y'all, I won't dox you.
What?
My boy, you ain't wrong. He said, "Don't dox me on the Cash App." I got you. I won't dox. No dox. Don't say my name.
Got it. Say my name. Say my name.
Say yo.
Say you ain't wrong.
But listen, like I think that a lot of people have a lot of people right now, with what I'm seeing in the current space of relationships, is really, they're not mature, man.
No, they're not.
They're not. We're really not mature enough to be getting involved in a lot of these things. We're having kids in our early 20s, late teens. Like, what are we really talking about? We're not setting ourselves up for success as far as relationships are concerned. And then everyone's desperate by the time they reach their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
The women are desperate because they've had multiple women. Shout out to y'all, man, on the Cash App. Much love, man. You ain't wrong, man. Definitely appreciate it. I got the blunt sitting in my hand. You know what I mean? Y'all, man. But listen, for everybody out there, man, I really think that a lot of what's keeping people back is having kids at an earlier age.
Right.
When you look at people, say you look at the suburbs, and I know a lot of people like to look at, that being black and white. However people want to take it. But I say look at suburban versus urban areas, man. And the one thing that keeps people in the suburbs out of poverty is not having children early. What you'll see is that you'll see most of the parents out there who have small children, I'm talking about toddlers, are in their late fucking 30s, man.
Yeah.
They're late 30s. Like, they're my age, just now having kids. Yeah. I have a kid that graduates next year.
Yes.
So, like, when I see that, I'm like, how do you keep from being broke? Don't have kids early. Wait until you're financially ready to do it. That's the biggest thing. But we don't do that.
We don't do that.
Shout out to Hillbilly, my brother from another mother. Much love,
Hillbilly?
Man. Much love, man. Appreciate you helping Cuddy keep the lights on. But look, when I look at Andrew Tate, though, especially when I compare him to like Romeo and Marquise Jackson, 50 Cent's son.
Yeah.
I think that one of the biggest things you'll notice is that Andrew Tate had a struggle to overcome.
Oh, talk slow.
They
It
don't have
wasn't
struggle, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's an amazing point you just made right there. Slam dunk. I didn't even think about that. You are absolutely right. Andrew had to struggle, and
Listen. Seeing your dad have to hustle people in the park playing chess.
Yes.
Seeing them getting attacked and beating the store and looking at that and not reacting and probably, really in yourself saying, I would never, ever want to be that person again. Seeing them use his mind to hustle, and that was his talent. Like,
yeah,
that was an imprint.
He still had to brawl.
That's what I'm saying. See, there was no silver spoon for Andrew.
No,
listen, Romeo didn't really see his dad. He seen the fruits of the hustle, but he didn't have to see the hustle itself.
Right.
He wasn't in the meetings with his dad. He wasn't there. Maybe some of those things as he got older, but he didn't have as much respect and appreciation for it because he was used. He grew up with people kissing his dad's ass.
Yes. He's always been in a powerful state. So that's, well, I mean, I don't think we should worry about trying to fix that problem. Most of us don't have that damn problem. So, we have the opposite problem. We have Andrew Tate's problem. So let's continue with the Andrew Tate show. Because let's be honest, we don't have Romeo's or Marcus issues. We don't. We have I
could tell you just on a small level, because my dad's a pastor. So, and like he was a state champion playing basketball coming up. So in the town, everybody knew him. They knew the last name. When I went somewhere, they always knew him, always shaking his hand, and always had positive things to say about him in the church world. Everybody knew him, so I grew up with that.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that the one thing you start to find that you want on your own is your own identity.
Yes, you do. You want your own identity. And can do me a favor. Put up John's chat. I want people to hear this.
Got to talk in here. Shout out to John.
John Strayas says Andrew Tate also surpassed his father's legacy as well, while giving Pops the utmost respect.
That is, I think that's crucial, John.
Because both Marcus and freaking Romeo are pretty much just owning their fathers.
They don't have they really don't have a respect and appreciation for what their fathers have done.
How you gonna get on live trying to tell people your dad is broke?
And look, I'll say this: I think that if you ask Tate himself, do you think you surpassed your father? He would reply back to you in what way? Because he would say economically, yes. My brother and I have surpassed him. But he was just explaining about his dad's ability with his mind, he didn't possess that ability.
Well, okay, so you can also look at it like this. What is it to gain easier access to finances when you have the world to your fingertips, as opposed to your father only had chest he can use? It's not like he had the same resources and knowledge and intellect and stuff like that Andrew Tate has today. Back then, they didn't have technology like that. So you don't know what the hell Andrew Tate's father would be in this century, in this time frame. He would have probably been ruled some shit, but because he was limited, that was where he had to go. He went to chess. Plus, he also had that little addiction problem that goes without saying. But the point is that maybe he's not looking at it on that aspect. Maybe he's looking at it on the aspect of, I couldn't beat my father at his own game. So in that position, he don't think he surpassed him. That's possible too.
Listen, in other words, it'd be like this. It'd be like me saying, I'm gonna beat my father, in basketball. So
Right.
you put us at our best, he'd always be a better ball player, but I'd always be a better drummer. Like he could never out drum me. So
Listen,
everybody has their own talents and their
yes.
own skills. It's all about what you do to develop these things.
Facts. I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I think it's a beautiful thing because you look at it. Because I remember one of the most daunting experiences of me and my father when he was thrown against a building by a couple of cops, and I think about that and I see how my father just kept his cool, he kept his posure. Dion get back. He didn't trying to keep us calm. He didn't fight. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that, Broly aggressive shit. He knew his kids was watching him, and he made us feel as comfortable as he can possibly make us feel. And we got through that mess, right? We got through it. Traumatic situations. Because that had to be traumatic for Andrew to see that shit. His father's biting somebody's face off while getting plummeted in the head. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucked up for a couple of cops throwing my kid against a damn building. If I saw somebody's nose come out of my father's mouth, what would it do? Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen, but if you look at it, this is the struggle that Romeo and Marquise
does not know.
They don't know. They don't have. They need a struggle. It doesn't have to be a financial struggle. It's not about you not having money. And I think that what was good about Shaq's story to me is that he used a different route in order for them to get into the brand. So we're gonna definitely be talking or exit said Tory innocent, but should have been messing with Meg to begin with. I don't care for Tory music, but I think this is a miscarriage of justice, and Meg is a snitch with the massive defense. Listen, we're gonna definitely get into it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, either he shot her or he didn't. The evidence is against him. I don't know. Listen.
Yo, this shit is crazy, bro.
Listen, look. I don't know why people mad though. I don't know why people mad. I don't see why they act like people can't be fucking crazy. Niggas crazy sometimes.
No, niggas are crazy.
Andrew Tate dad was getting jumped in the store by 3.
Right. And don't have no freaking idea why.
I don't even know why the argument started. But that's how situations be, man. That's how situations be. Well, we're gonna definitely be talking Tory and Megan, man. I think people look. I just want to give my take on that, because look. Listen, man, it was a lot of brothers that was talking shit. And this is why I always say to keep your goddamn mouth shut until the rest of the evidence come out. But see, now everybody get conspiratorial when it don't go their way. You can't be mad when the shit don't go your way. Listen, y'all trying to hit you with the Cash App, Gary. What's your Cash App for my man? You ain't wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's Keontae 2020.
Shout out to the Cash App, Keontae 2020, man. But look,
appreciate you.
Listen, was Megan. No, but see now is Yamanika. Yamanika, she over here. She right now. Megan was trying to cover for Tory.
Yes. Yes.
She was trying to protect the black man. She tried. Listen, if Tory shot her, he need to go to jail. I don't get. Look, man, I don't get what people want, man. Like, what do you want? If the man shot her, he need to go to jail.
Yes, he needs to go to jail.
What
But
is?
the problem is, it's not about that. The problem is this freaking fool lied. This is where my problem happens. She lied. She lied about somebody shooting her in her damn foot. Why would you do that? Why? This is the craziest dysfunctional shit. The whole I just wanted to scare you bull crap shit. The threatening and aggressive garbage, but I really ain't going to do nothing because I love the shit out of you. Like that stuff is so stupid. Like y'all going hard in the paint for one another, and somebody finally raised you higher than you was ready to go, and you still don't realize this motherfucker crazy.
Man, lock the nigga up, man.
Put
If he
that
shot
dude
her,
in
lock
jail.
the
Let him
nigga up.
listen. He shot her. Now, granted, I will say this: they've been together for quite some time, and he hasn't shot her before. So, this was a build to anger.
And look, I
This
want
was a
people to
build to
realize
anger.
this. Like, listen, the state brought the charges, so like Tory Lanez wasn't going against Megan Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez was going against the goddamn state.
Yeah.
All he had to do was prove that he didn't shoot her.
Yep.
That's it. That's
Yep.
all he had to prove. I mean, I don't know what to say here. You know, look, Tory got sentencing coming up. You know, next month in January, so he's gonna be sentenced for his crime. You know what I mean? What do you say to that, Tory? If you shooting motherfuckers, go sit your ass down somewhere. Like that's the type of shit that got to get out of the community. We can't like this is the type of things that we have to stop.
Yes.
There is no more protecting him because he's a black man and all this garbage. Send his ass to jail, man, so that the rest of these fools that's acting the damn fool around, they see that if I act the fool, I'm going to fuck the jail.
Now, you did raise a point. Bruh, if he's willing to shoot it, yeah, you're right. He willing to shoot his girl.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
He's not due protection. He hasn't earned protection. He's not protecting you. He can cost you your life.
Oh my God.
So listen. Look, however it went down, Tory had charges from the state. All he had to do was prove that he didn't do what the state was charging him for.
But you know what? Listen, and I just want to say thank you everybody in the Cash App. Thank you everybody in the chat. I really do need to stress this to you, ladies. I need to stress this to you. You have to put these crazy motherfuckers behind bars. You don't want to procreate with these dudes. There is somebody called Genghis Khan. Craziest motherfucker alive. Well, at least one of the craziest motherfuckers. He almost dominated the entire world because he got through. Okay, so we might want to be wise enough. Just don't let crazy niggas procreate. They'll fuck everything up. You don't want them running around. Now, don't get it twisted. We need some of them brothers out, but they need to be able to control that shit.
Listen, Tory Lanez is 5'2". He more than likely got some type of Napoleon complex, and he's doing too much out here in these streets.
Once again, if you got a dude that's like that, you don't want to procreate with him. Here's a dude walking around shooting people in the foot because of an argument. All right, I've been mad at my wife for a lot of stuff. But I'm not doing nothing to hurt her.
Nah.
Like, what kind of dude are you?
An idiot.
Like, I don't see the logic behind that. That ain't the dude you want.
Well, you know, they like these so-called bad boys. Because I look, I don't see what an R&B singer need a gun for anyway.
Right.
Like, you know,
Right.
what's the
What he gang
point?
banging on? Like what's the point of that?
Diara said Tory will probably be deported to the UK. He's not used to guns, knives. Yes, of course, you're right. I wouldn't listen. If he got deported to the UK, that'd be the best thing to happen to Tory Lanez.
Yeah,
Because
you think so?
it's over for him here. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done for him here, man. What are you gonna do? Go because he in LA going to jail. So like, man, listen, you gonna hit them yards, you gonna get sentenced and go to prison in Cali.
Mm.
Boy, you're R&B singer, like, buddy. What you
Wow.
gonna come a crip? Get the fuck out of here, Tory Lanez. This was stupid, man.
This was not only stupid, this was unnecessary.
It was. It was wholly unnecessary. It was.
I don't know. I think we really need to figure something out. Gary Lamb, but stitches get stitches. Right. You absolutely right. I ain't trying to. I don't want to fight you like that. I don't want to fight you. I want to make love to my girl. I don't got time to be on no damn fighting shit. Like, that's another reason why I'm trying to confuse. I'm trying to understand. I mean, don't get it twisted. The stories came out that, you know, Tory was doing a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was dropping like a line. That was, you know. So, you know, R&B singer got a reason to be pissed off at a female. You know what I'm saying? You got me looking funny in these streets. You know, so that's why I don't want to just put all of that, you know what I'm saying, and say that there's no reason at all for this man to lose his shit. There is reasons. That doesn't matter. It's just, I'm just saying there's reasons that will push a person over the edge. You don't know what was said. You don't know how it was said. You don't know what it meant to the person. It's so much there. And rage can take over, right? You know, Return of the Mac. You know what I mean? The rage can take over. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end my part. This will be the last things I'm gonna say about the topic, unless you say something that jogs me. Want to say something else, but I just want to say that agreements are important in a relationship, right? You need to know what your boundaries are, what your triggers are, and appreciate your husband and your wife for doing their best to not trigger you, right? And if they do mess up, you just give them a nice little, hey, that, no, I got you. We're both working on this together. Just letting you know that you did hit me on that trigger and I almost lost it. So can you, you know what I'm saying? Like, just speak, conversate.
Listen, I think that's why mental health is important in relationships. And you know, people really got to take those things more seriously.
Yes.
And in Tory's situation, you know, listen, you get caught in a situation definitely doing too much. Obviously, you got found guilty of shooting this, so there's no more of this assumed or you know, you got caught. You guilty now.
Yeah.
So
What
you
was the
know,
sentence, by the way?
well, they sentence him next month, so we're gonna see how much time he get, man.
Oh my
We're gonna see
God.
how much time he get. But listen, y'all, before we get on out of here, man, it is crazy up here in New York. I don't know if y'all can hear this wind, but it is absolutely insane, man. And from the comments, I can see that it's pretty cold where y'all at. A lot of y'all windy, but up here in Rochester, New York, it's insane, man. So Hoodie just trying to stay warm, man. Much love to everybody in the chat. If you're watching on Rumble, if you're watching on YouTube, shout out to everybody, man. And look, I just want to say that it's, you know, getting back into Andrew Tate, man, to kind of wrap it up, man, that fathers are absolutely important. And to kind of wrap up this thing with Romeo and Marquise, 50 Cent's son, is that you really it's important that children find their own way and find their own struggle.
Yeah.
And that really helps them become successful. And you know, shout out to Shaq as his son finds his own struggle trying to make his way, you know, through the league and the NBA. And he, you know, he got to now fight that. You know, your dad name can only take you so far. You got to become your own man. So shout out to everybody, man, that's, you know, tuning in on these lives, man. We enjoying it, man. We having a good time talking these relationships, man. It's always a good me up, man. Gary, what you got for the people before we get on out here?
Well, nothing, as usual. This is Gary Lamb signing off. You guys have a good one.
Man, y'all have a great rest of y'all night, man. I'll see y'all later on the live. Peace.